Strunk. This is Sister Gina Miller. I just wanted to respond to your video. There was a couple of aspects of your video that I felt like I could relate to, and I certainly appreciated your openness in sharing. One of the first things that you had shared that really seemed to strike a chord with me as far as being able to relate to your introduction is your mentioning of how church planters here in the United States, in your mind's eye, are missionaries. And I would agree with you that even though they're not going to what we would consider foreign soil, since this is our homeland, but they are certainly missionary minded. They are going into areas that don't have a church, that have people that need to know the truth. And so they plant churches, and so they might be considered church planters, but I would agree with you that they are certainly missionaries. One of the things that I certainly can appreciate from my own past and memories are my pastor Tmadwitz, who we attended his home missions church, where we were invited to for the first time. He planted that church in Bridgeton, New Jersey. Although it might not be somewhere foreign, it was certainly a different place that needed a church, needed the truth, and was here in the United States. And so I certainly see him not only as my pastor, but as a missionary that the Lord sent to this area so that me, my mom, my brother could be introduced to this amazing truth. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the missionaries that are here in America. And always thankful for the missionaries, of course, that are overseas, certainly to my own country, Greece. But how amazing also would it be, though, for a church planter missionary to be here in the States. And there's many areas here I know of that are local to us that have a large Greek populace that I would love to see the truth be brought to them. And I don't know, who knows, maybe that's something the Lord's laying on my heart. Maybe I need to respond to that call. But I thank you for your video and referencing that aspect of church planters being missionaries. Another thing that you had mentioned that I definitely felt like I was able to relate to was your appreciation of your great-grandfather, who was in the truth and had passed that down, generations of the love of the Lord down to you. Although my great-grandfather, I only got to know him for a brief period of time. He did live to be 102 years old, and I'm very grateful for the small amount of memories that I have of him. But even though he never necessarily, to my knowledge, had an experience within the Pentecostal church, he certainly had an experience with the Lord. I know that my mom shared memories with me about how she used to come home from school because her grandparents raised her, and she would see my great-grandfather watching Billy Graham crusades and having tears run down his face and just responding to the presence of God. And for him, and certainly somebody that had been raised Greek Orthodox from generation to generation, that was a big step. And so I'd like to think that his sensitivity to the Lord is something that he passed down to my mom and maybe set the stage for us being able to be introduced to this great truth. And so I'm very thankful and I'm appreciative of that aspect of my great-grandfather. And I like to think that if he was alive today and I was able to have more conversations with him, maybe this is some truth that he had embraced or would embrace. And so I just want to say thank you very much for your sharing, and I'm looking forward to a great class. Thank you, Brother Sistrunk.